I'm drinking from my saucer, like drinking, cause my cup has overflowed. Yes, I keep drinking from my saucer, Lord. Keep drinking from my saucer, Lord, cause my cup has overflowed.
Can you worship the Lord Jesus Christ? Worship the Lord Jesus Christ this morning. Hallelujah. We give him the highest praise.
I never made a fortune.
It's probably not too late though. Hallelujah.
It's probably not too late.
It's probably not.
With Jesus Christ, anything is possible.
Oh, but I don't worry about that much, cause I'm happy anyhow. As I go along life's journey, I'm reaping better than I'm sown. I'm drinking from my saucer, cause my cup has overflowed. Ain't got a lot of riches, sometimes the going is rough, but I've got a friend in Jesus, and that makes me rich enough. I thank God for all his blessings on me and the mercies he's bestowed. I'm drinking from my saucer, cause my cup has overflowed. You know, right now, you may be going through some rough times in your life, but I'm here to encourage you today not to give up. I pronounce a blessing upon your life, upon your family. You must prosper and be in good health in the name of Jesus. I believe it on my heart. So Lord, help me not to grumble and complain of the tough roads I have owned. I'm drinking from my saucer.
Are you drinking from your saucer this morning?
Cause
you have life, you have good health,
overflow.
Breakfast on the table, you can sit dinner.
I should go on living.
Some of us still have a job.
On living. Should the way get steep and rough, I thank you, Lord, I thank you, Lord. May I ask for no other blessing, Jesus. Glory. Cause I'm already blessed enough.
Call somebody.
Never be too busy. I won't be
send out the link.
Too busy. Help a brother. There is love.
Portland Spice TV, good morning and welcome, 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 welcome.
I'm drinking from my saucer. Like drink.
Are you drinking from your saucer this morning?
Overflow.
Colin Anthony's on your box.
Yes,
right across the world, good morning and welcome, welcome, welcome.
Drinking from my saucer, Lord, 'cause my cup has overflowed. It's a worthy pleasure.
The teacher is in class, calling all the students. Cost of living getting higher. Come with it, 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 come with it.
It's a world being played on. Right to the station. Cost of living getting higher. More salad than fire. Hey, cost of living getting higher. More salad than fire. Take a look in the marketplace. You can't even find no place to walk. A lot of people out there that get locked. Selling from a feet to another. Oh, cost of living getting higher. More salad than fire. Hey, cost of living getting higher. More.
Tell me if you understand it. Inflation going down while prices are going up. Tell me about it. Tell me about it, somebody.
Papa cry, and cry. People the young suckling on the breast, leaving people out there so depressed. Lord, cause I live big, getting higher. Most of the fire. Cause I live big, getting.
What a Saturday morning it's going to be. Gilly morning, Elaine morning, everybody. We still have people who are in shelter over there in St. Thomas, Golden Grove, Ardley Crossing, flood out. And when we talk about what has been done to us, Portland and St. Thomas, that injustice of canceling the new road and insisting on rehabilitating the existing lining totally as the single option. It cannot be. Cannot be the single option. And for those of you who would have been listening to me week after week, months after months, years after years, and we spoke about the decision of the administration to cancel the new road that was negotiated for from Harborview into Port Antonio. It is for reasons like these. It is not the first time people get trapped in the water at Golden Grove. So the JDF had to fly some missions yesterday to extract citizens. And I want to tell you this morning that I found out that our friend and contributor to Portland Spice TV, Mystical, was in the middle of it. In fact, I hope today is the last day you spend at that location, my brother. Sun is out in Portland, Port Antonio, sunny and bright this morning. How is it where you are? One thing we know in Jamaica.
more than fire. Cause I live in your more than fire. What we have to do, we have to get through. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now what we have to do, we have to get through. Whoa, it's a world inflation, rising against nation. A world inflation, rising against nation. Oh, the father can solve the situation. Fear of God and starvation. Oh,
804-7072.
did I know?
That's the number on which you talk to me. You can call me straight. You can call me on WhatsApp. Gonna be talking to the mayor of Morant Bay this morning, chairman of the St. Thomas Municipal Corporation. We're trying to touch base with Black Pearls. Anybody see him? Tell him here. St. Thomas felt the blunt of the weather system that was out there for the last couple of days. And therefore, I want to touch base with St. Thomas this morning. Yeah, man. Want to touch base with St. Thomas this morning. Find out what is happening down there. Eastern St. Thomas, Western St. Thomas. All kinds of shenanigans. Now we hear that the piece of new road out of license, that in terrible condition now. So we start now seeing the reasons why a new road was necessary. I want to tell my Labourite friends them, so it was a bad decision to shelve the new road. We're talking about El Nino and all kind of different weather condition based to climate change. But yet still, when it's time to come, when time come to plan and decide the best way forward, we make poor decisions. And for those of you who have problem with me criticizing the government on a regular basis, more helping if you understand that there is only one government at a time in Jamaica. Never have two government. We don't even have a coalition government. Even though every legislature is a part of the government, some people even misunderstand that. To show you how much it is one side that manages the country's affairs. And for the last 8 years, or 7 years going into 8 now, we have been making poor decisions. And these are the reasons on which I say Jamaica needs a new direction. These are the reasons on which I say that Jamaica needs a forensic audit. Serious. Because we must stop and check how much money got on over the last years because of poor decision making, because of corruption, because of all kind of things. Because when a man make a genuine mistake, I don't refer to that as corruption. But when a man make a mistake voluntarily because he wants to corrupt the system, then you have corruption by that way as well. But even if you make the mistake genuinely, how many mistakes you get before you get kicked to the curb? Because if you're making genuine mistakes regularly, it means you're incompetent. Till you end up start cause corruption by incompetence. Because when you look at a situation like Cornwall Regional Hospital, the error that was made with Cornwall Regional is costing us easily over $11 billion. $11 billion. When you look on where it's at now, at 14 billion. Because remember, the first figure was given was about 2.5 billion to refurbish. We said at the time that you should demolish and build a new hospital conducive to our climate. The design of Cornwall Regional is a Canadian design. Hence, it is not fit for the tropics. And you get an opportunity to correct it. And you made that kind of mistake. So, when Dr. Christofton is going to say that people want to run a smear campaign, so it relates to Dr. Tufton. Nobody needs to try to do anything. All you need to do is talk what happened. Because we're still waiting on the investigation for Market Me. Nobody trying to smear you with Market Me, Dr. Tufton. We want to know what happened. It's just that what the young lady, the name from Zara Burton, in my opinion, asked the question wrong. Zara, you shouldn't ask him about his wife. You should ask him about if he's involved with anybody from Market Me, because that would cause a conflict of interest. So that's where the question should have go. You shouldn't ask him if he cheat on his wife. Should I ask him if he's involved in a relationship with any of the principals of Market Me? Then he would have to answer that question. Because that now looks at the whole conflict of interest matter as it relates to the decision to go into our contract with Market Me. So, when we look at the decisions that they are making, when the Minister of Finance decided that he wouldn't continue the insurance of Jamaica's oil bill, massive error. Ralston Hyman saying we could be paying 30% less for petrol. And right now we're paying $200 per liter. And it frightens me. In Portland, we are paying like $280 a liter, if not more. So 280 minus 30% is 196. So it's $84 less we'll be paying for gas. And if you're paying $84 less, and you're buying, like, sometime I buy 50 liter, it's $4,200 you'd be saving when you go to the gas pump. Let's look at a taxi man who might be doing 27 liters. So it's 84 times 27. You'd be saving $2,268 when you go to the gas pump. And it could be more. So the edge, the finance minister not edging. Every time you go to the gas pump, you pay $2,268 extra where you wouldn't have to pay. So these are what the mistakes are costing us. Yeah? And you're talking about people who people are referring to as the best prime minister. People are referring to them as the best finance minister. I wonder what these people are talking about. I want to say good morning and welcome to all our new viewers up in Kensington. Good morning and welcome. Hector's River, good morning. Yeah? Yes, a lot of mistakes and a lot of things were politicized, and because of that, it's costing us. The SOE down in St. James, rubbish. We're not hearing any searches coming out there. So you're going to have to keep that SOE forever. Sandra, good morning. Sir Thomas, morning, sir. Lemar. Sir Brown. Miss Hussey, morning. Welcome, everybody. So we simplify the mistakes, and then it would cost 30% less of your light bill if the Minister of Finance had continued the edge and, in fact, increased on it, because Dr. Phillips was only edging on 1/3 of what we were buying. But remember and understand the reason for only doing 1/3 when it started. Because when it started, there was no edge fund. So the government had to lend the money to the fund until they start collecting. When Nigel Clark got in there and Hardly Shaw, the edge fund was there. So you could now increase the percentage you insure. But this minister, in his wisdom or lack thereof, never decide for edge. And I say to the people of Jamaica, that is something that is punishable. It is punishable. This is a government that calls its citizens chink, fleas, and flies, you know. Yes, the GLP government refer to us as chink, fleas, and flies. Because for those of you who sit in your cozy chair and say, Warmington, this SHACKA fame, in this every Jamaican. And every member, every governing member, every ruling member, every one of the leaders in the GLP agreed with it. In fact, a senior minister and a senior member of the GLP administration doubled down on it. So, injustice to one is injustice to all. And the Almighty say, whatever you do to the least of those of these, you have done it unto me. So no feel like say, Uncle me would have called so. Him call everyone we saw. Chink, fleas, and flies. And him now tour with councillor and councillor candidate. Him diss everybody. And the Jamaica Labour Party sat down and condoned it, including the Prime Minister. Every one of them agree. So every member called Jamaican people chink, fleas, and flies. Morning to the mayor of Port Antonio, chairman of the Portland Municipal Corporation. We're still waiting on you, sir, to send the police to remove the barriers and the security guard from the parish council road. Because only the parish council have the authority to block that road. So if it's not the parish council paying the guards, if it's not the parish council order the barriers there, then, Mr. Mayor, you too, sir, must face the people's court. I was putting out the reasons this morning, why some people must be removed from office. Yes. You're blundering, squandering the people's gain, thus putting us on the back foot. When you go and mash down people's house, it was premeditated, Because the man announced it in the parliament that tomorrow morning, he might go bulldoze the house them over Clifton. When you had time to investigate, you had time to sort out what happened because you at the time said it was gangsters, they are gangsters. And you bulldoze the people in the house. And then you apologize. Or you didn't apologize, but you're planning to build back and fix back and give back. Those are the errors that we're talking about. So the Prime Minister had promised that by Friday of last week his statutory declaration would be sorted out. I know him could make that promise because it's not him a certified. And that's why sometimes I can't understand the people in mainstream media who allow these leaders to come and tell them all this rubbish and they bite hook, line, and sinker. Him couldn't determine if he's going to respond. All him can say him going to respond by that time. And I'm still saying that the Prime Minister should put before the country whatever communication him get from the Integrity Commission. Make we see what the Integrity Commissioner asks for. You are the Prime Minister. You put a gag order on the Integrity Commission and say that them can't talk before the report is tabled in the Parliament. So we are saying to you, Mr. Prime Minister, sir, put the communication out and make us see it now. Make we decide. What a morning. What a morning. Because the people of Jamaica, the silent majority, sits down and allowing the country to go into anarchy. But can I tell you? Can I tell you? Just look over 80 and see what is happening over there and make up on your mind if that's what you don't want to come to Jamaica. I don't want that. Me don't want that at Jamaica. So we need to speak now definitively. Because this gangsterism and badmanism we are around this country, where anytime you ask any question, you hear say you're bad mind. We have to move that, We have to move that and get to a state of accountability. A state where we demand transparency from those who run the country. Look seriously like we're heading for a dictatorship in Jamaica. Just look at what is happening around you. Look at what is happening around you. The corporal of the Police Federation spoke. And he was put on interdiction by the Commissioner of Police because them said the man criticized and talk about the pay increase at a funeral. Corporal Ron James. The judge said the man must go back to him work with immediate effect. The man is the union representative for the police officers. And he spoke about settling on the remuneration for the police. And if it don't settle, God help the commissioner. And you put him on interdiction for that. Are we seeing the rising of a dictatorship in this country? The government is changing the policy of how bills from the Integrity Commission and the Auditor General is tabled in the Parliament. Convention is that these bills are tabled as soon as possible. And this administration is now saying that they're putting a 2 months hold on the tabling of these bills. When they come to the Parliament, they're not tabling them same time, they're sending them to oversight or to the minister. And the minister can take up to 2 months to peruse the report. Or they're sending one to the oversight committee, which can take up to 30 days. No, neither the oversight committee nor the minister can change the content of any of those reports. But let me tell you plain and simple what the government is doing. Let me clear it for you. Clear and simple. The government is putting things into place to ensure that if there is any adverse report against the government coming to the Parliament, they can stall that if you are in election mode. So if the election is called and a report from the Integrity Commission comes to the Parliament saying that the Prime Minister is one of the 6, they can stall that report for 2 months easily until after the election. So what the government is doing is covering their ass.
Black people don't get weary. Them take off the shackles and chains and say them free with. But we still on a mental slavery.
This morning, Portland Spice TV, we are burning. Come again.
Black people don't get weary.
Jamaican, open your eyes.
Still on a mental slavery. On a sing with the star chill passive, my lord. Fire pan rum, fire pan rum, fire pan rum, fire, 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 fire. Fire, pan rum, fire, pan rum, fire, 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 pan rum. Black people don't get weary. Them take off the shackles and chains and say them free with. But we still on a mental slavery. On a sing with the star chill passive, my lord. Fire, pan rum. People call on them sisters and home. Black people want go home.
Jamaican people, you hear what me say? The government is covering their ass. They are putting measures in place to ensure that any adverse report that comes close to an election during an election campaign will not come to the Jamaican people. And I said to the opposition, you must not allow it. It must not be allowed. Because, you see, I believe that elections should be run on issues. The issues affecting the people. That's how you're supposed to determine who you vote for in an election. But this government is ready to hide the truth. Eh? They are ready and putting in mechanism in place so that they can hide the truth. So let's say the local government election is called, and the Integrity Commission decide to submit a preliminary report, or they have completed their investigation and decide to submit. The government got us hold on upon that. 2 months, 30 days, and then after the election, you hear the halabaloo. Wow. Wow. We see right through them. And you hear the Speaker of the House. There's not one report that is left to be tabled. We are trying to fool that. Yeah, there might be none now. But what you are ensuring, that if one turns up Tuesday, is next year, before that hit the parliament, before that table. I don't think gonna slick. Them think them slick, the people.
People call on him sisters and home. Black people want go home. On Mount Zion and the righteous throne. You go yo, fire pan room. People call on him sisters and home. Black people want go home. On Mount Zion and the righteous throne. Well, this is my question to Issa and the one Matalan. Oh, no get we want so much black people and after them slave achieve nothing in hand. Check out greater, put more bread and room plus 1 million. Them just to the house to work 100 grand. To me a lick out they want me keep quiet. But me a bonfire baby one put Stuart. Who buy you the plates and all the pilot. To me not in a Jamaica long pigeon. A people on fire upon the one name Azan. Everybody know them town a bit the poor man. Oh them claims it a set to them it belong. No more hustling that me no food in a hand. One help we have is the Almighty One. Jamaican chant me song. Fire pan room. People call on him scissors and go. Black people want go home. I'm Mount Zion and the righteous throne. You go yo, fire pan room. People call on him scissors and go. Black people want go home. I'm Mount Zion and the righteous throne. My Lord don't talk, just listen. Me a people on fire, baby, BJ Pattison. He make certain move, but we not too certain. Who must block you behind iron curtain? To win and go chatty in a Babylon. And people on fire, baby, when you see harder. Every day cause a living get harder. Have more sell and miss more than buyer. Oh my Lord, what a pressure. Emperor Selassie. Jaja is the only way. Nobody want to plant the can. Everybody want to read the band. Who you are go blame it on? When it's a next man, you are the pen pan. Well, you're wrong. Nobody want to plant the can. Everybody want to read the band. I've been seen you on a song, can't compete with Kelly's John. I was looking at start, just a little ease off. No one would help me push that old and can't them alive. Never take me serious. So many goals and tasks as patrols I pass every day. My Lord, I have to pray on my way.
Got to drop some Anthony beyond them this morning.
The corporation, we could unify, relieve the frustration.
Portland Spice TV, we're live. Share the link to somebody. Like the video, subscribe, click the notification bell.
Everybody want to read the band. Who you are go blame it on? When it's a next man, you are the pen pan. Well, you wrong. Nobody want to plant the can. Everybody want to read the band.
Trying to touch base with the mayor of Morant Bay,
Some can't compete with Kid.
Hubert Williams.
I feel
Is worship the mayor,
a little
Councillor Hubert Williams.
a day of work. A sense of achieving to know I'm contributing, doing my part too. This is my comfort. I know there is a reward for every trying man who walk this land with an intention to do good for himself and every man. Just a meditation. Nobody want to plant the can. Everybody want to read the band. Who you are go blame it on when it's a next man you are the pen fan. Well you wrong. Nobody want to plant the can. Everybody want to read the band. Happy sing your own a song can't compete with religion. Well I've been up from early this morning. Never drink no tea, me never eat no fried dumpling. Never
So we have his worship, the mayor, Councillor Hubert Williams on the line. Mayor, morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, Mr. Bell.
So how you on the weather?
Well, I'm okay, but my people, some of them are really in a bad situation because we have situation here in St. Thomas where people are marooning in several different communities. We are talking about people up in the hills of Cedar Valley, in the Mangoro area, in the Richmond area, and somewhat slightly in the Penline area. We have people marooning in the Willowfield area. We have a situation where a grind was burst in the Danvers Pen area last night. We have serious landslide up in Somerset. We have landslide up in Beacon Hill, up in Bath, and several Moon Felix. We have
Your worship.
We have problem all around. We have in the lowlands like Duane Pen, serious level of flooding that destroy personal properties in homes. We just have lot of problems here at the moment.
Any guesstimate of what this is going to cost? God, it sounds like a whole heap.
Well. I'm going to take the street myself, the CEO of the SOAP, just to have a first-hand look, and then the real assessment in terms of collateral damage. Damage is going to start on Monday, where the Roads and Work Department, Engineering Department will do that. But it's way up in the millions, man. Lots of millions. Serious damage. You have to remember, we get some I haven't seen rainfall like this for a very, very long time, and then a big part of it, they create a highway that I don't think they really take drainage seriously into consideration. And because of that, we see flooding in places that we haven't seen flooding in a very long time.
Whoa.
Or ever before. And, it was just destructive what was going on here, man.
So you get the full blunt of the weather?
Yeah, man. St. Thomas got the full blunt of the weather, without any doubt. We were the one that,
Talk to us about Ardley Crossing. What is happening at Ardley Crossing? Talk to us about that.
Well, Ardley Crossing, in all fairness, have been, a sore point for many years. Ardley Crossing is a space where you can easily get trapped. And this has been happening for many years because I can speak personally. I've get trapped in the Ardley Crossing here before. But this time, this water level that we experienced the other day is 2 days ago, or a day ago rather. It's just, we have never seen it before for a very long time.
You still have
people that were coming from Portland, people that, just get trapped there and they're still at Willowfield. It reached a level where I have to make contact with JDF to come and rescue these people. It's just bad. It was just bad at Ardley Crossing. If you try to cross it, you'll just simple drown. And you have to remember, this water is crocodile infested as well.
That's what I saw some people walking in it and people were saying, yo, I will put crocodile in the water, and the people say, yo, a Portland we are going now, we can't stay so no longer, we are walk through it.
Well, sometimes, you have to make these decisions because sometimes the weight starvation can catch you too. So I just want to say though, the water is infested with crocodile, and it's important for motorists and residents to know that. Well, who reside in that area know that. But it's a dangerous water to walk through because you can be attacked at any time by crocodile. That's what makes it so dangerous.
Your worship, the original plan for the Southern Coastal Highway was that it would be a new alignment, cutting out places like Ardley Crossing for reasons like this. What you say now to this administration would change the scope of work?
Well, you see, one of the good things about it, the work haven't started yet at Ardley Crossing. So that I hope this administration or any administration that's going to undertake that leg of the road would go back to the original alignment so that these places that are so disastrous will be simply bypassed or cut out.
Because how was Bowden?
No way.
How was Bowden swamp in this weather? Yeah?
Well, we have get information that we have problem on here. I've yet to visit the place big enough.
Because
so
you can't pass Ardley Crossing to go around there.
Huh?
You can't pass Ardley Crossing to go around here.
No, you can't cross Ardley Crossing to go around here. But if you're coming from the other side,
you can see it.
You can yes, you can attack there, but there's still problem around here. But you see, it's not only at Ardley Crossing. You're talking places like Roach Gully, where the original alignment take you out there. We see landslides at Roach Gully. And just in case that river, if it came down at Roach Gully, would have a serious problem because that river is very aggressive when it comes down. And based on what they have done, the community is concerned, deeply concerned about if that river come down in the aggressive nature that it normally come down, what's going to happen. We have places also like Dwayne Pen, where all the homes were flooded out. Simply, yesterday I have to send a tractor to pull one of the river mouth just to release some of the water out to the community. The original alignment would even take us away from places like Roselle. We see the level of flooding because none of the drains that they put out of Roselle wasn't able to hold the water, the volume of water that's supposed to come through it. So the original alignment would take you up more in the hills and away from the lowland. So even the highway that we create now, if somebody in case of a hurricane and somebody want to go to the hospital, they can't access it. They can't because they still put it right beside the sea, which we always have these big storm surge and just take over the sea. So it's pretty much, it makes no sense what they have done. Pretty much, it might as well let me just leave the original road here because they have done nothing to improve the lives of the people.
What would you be suggesting come next week to the NWA, to central government as it relates to the highway project?
Repeat that question, please.
What will you be suggesting to your council, the NWA, central government?
Is basically, we are saying that I want to use this concept. If I go to buy a car, and when I ask for a test drive and test drive the car breaks down with me. I pretty much don't want that car. No, we haven't get the highway as yet because it has not yet finished. It's still in the process of construction. And the first test it gets, this is the first real test it gets. And this is not about hurricane,
Mm-hmm.
This is just some, rainfall.
Tropical storm weather.
The first test it gets, it failed. And not just fail marginally, it failed miserably. So we want to say to NWA and to the government that we have to really take a deep look at this highway and some correctional measures must be taken in order for St. Thomas to get a decent highway. It's definitely not okay to give us the highway the way we have it now. It will not work. This highway is adding to our problems.
When we spoke about
homes
it,
that don't normally get flood, communities that don't normally get flood.
No, get flood out.
Serious flooding went on over the last 2 days.
How about your shelters? How many shelters you have open?
At the moment, we only have one shelter open in Danvers. You have to understand, one of the things about shelters, we approve these shelters, based on hurricane trend. Because remember, that's a disaster that Jamaican is most prepared for.
Yeah.
So when we doing these inspections, we are bearing in mind hurricanes. And that's why we do them at the start of the hurricane season. A lot of these shelters are in flood-prone area too. So we have flooding. A man can't really left from one home with flood and run to a shelter that is flooding.
Wow.
That some of these shelters are in, most of them are just in the community. So what if the community is a low-lying area? The shelter would be in that low-lying area. So that's something that we have to look at seriously for the future. And next thing, why the shelter, we having a problem with shelters. You see, a man willing to take a risk kind of woman, because the moment them start leave them woman, the criminals them start going, because remember that Jamaica has become a lawless society. So, and we develop a thieving culture in a plain Jamaican term.
Sad.
So, people are willing now to risk their lives
staying at them house.
Shelter, because when they come home, when they go back home, they have to start back life over, because everything at their house, loot out, thief out, and all of that.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's one of the problems we are having now with shelter. So the state have to take measures to correct this pattern.
What are we going to be doing for the people who lost furniture in the flood and all of them kind of something there?
Well, as I said, we are going on to do a preliminary assessment. Early next week, now we're going to do the collateral assessment. And then now we go, because like today assessment is just to get back audio open and get back the flow of things moving, But next week, the more detailed assessment will be done. And after we gather that information, we will be able to make better decisions.
You mentioned a number of communities that have been marooned. Will there be access made to those communities today?
That's what we are about to do today and tomorrow.
Okay.
So hopefully by Monday, at least one lane traffic should be restored to our communities. Cedar Valley is a special situation because we have Cedar Valley, the terrain and all that. It's a different ballgame, different ballgame. Yeah. So we're going to do our best, but I can't guarantee that everything will be done within that 2 days, that 48 hours that we are trying. But all the other communities, I believe that within the next 48 hours, total access, great access, good access will be there for those communities.
What about business in the town of Morant Bay today?
Yeah, man, we are restoring business. Well, as the mayor, I ensure that what needed to be done to ensure that the town can operate.
Yes.
Have been done. We was, very proactive where that is concerned. So from yesterday, where we need to send a tractor to get a clear or a drain pull or whatever, we did it yesterday, and we're going to continue that through to today. So business is up and running in the town of Morant Bay. I can tell you that everything is normal because we are not in a normal period. But, business is functioning in the town.
All right, my brother. How about the new tell us a little bit about the new urban center that is supposed to be at Goodyear. Is that happening? How did it deal with the water?
They're doing
yesterday?
A few things, but at the moment, I think another radio station want to talk to me. So I'm just trying to you can have me at any time to talk about the urban center, but I really want to, get the assessment going, clear up the place that need to be cleared and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And in the near future, we can sit down and have a fulsome discussion about the urban center. Because the urban center, we really need to talk about it. But the disaster is up to our neck right now.
Do your thing, my brother.
As mayor, I have to lead the charge to get these communities running again.
All the best. Look after your people.
Thank you very much.
One love. It's worship the mayor, Councillor Hubert Williams, Morant Bay, St. Thomas Municipal Corporation. Whole heap of things are going on at St. Thomas. Morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Well, go on, man.
We have two things to talk about this morning.
Talk to me.
Firstly, we can talk about Juliet Andrews. and the second one has to do with the creation of Garrison number 2. Well, not Garrison number 2.
Another Garrison.
Pardon me for that.
Another
Right.
Garrison.
Something similar to, you remember the Bakawal?
Yes,
You know the
yes.
Bakawal history.
I'm gonna let them announce this one.
Yes, all right. So firstly,
Yes.
I want you to tell me if you know of any Fortune 500 company, or any country in this world that is a good, decent democracy where the head of government is the prime minister and the head of the house that involves both opposition and government members is husband and wife.
None. I can't think of any. And I would say to anybody out there, if you can Google it and find one, send it to us, please. Would love to see it.
All right. Here my problem now. I saw when this lady was being selected or he was being mooted about, there were persons who had a problem with it, and when they speak, they were attacked by many persons on social media, and persons forget to think about that how ethical is this, and how this would affect good governance. This is not a family business. This is not the Azan or the Mossad or those persons who have business where you know, say, son, they so, daughter, they so, wife, they so, in managerial position. This is the government.
Them business was built by the family. So therefore the family run it and manage it.
Right. Now, my problem is, why did Philip Palwell vote or second the nomination
of Juliet Wellness?
Hold on. The fact is, even though it may have been tradition
or convention
for the opposition party to second the nomination put forward by the government, in this instance, this nomination was not an ordinary nomination. It was a departure from the norm. Therefore, the response could not have been or should not have been the same. Because it cannot be that Mr. Palwell went on a frolic of his own to support such a nomination fully well that there is no big company in Jamaica. I know of banks in Jamaica. If persons know that two persons are having a relationship within the bank, one will have to go. And that's just a simple bank. And we, as a country, sat down and we said to ourselves, oh, she is the best person for the job. No, this lady, I have nothing I must declare personally against her. However, I can say that she is just as tribalist as a Nesta Morgan, as a Kenisa Morrison, those young labor rights.
But Wilson,
yes?
She had shown that tribalism before, And we never see it yet,
But hold on, and that is what I'm saying.
Crazy.
She has demonstrated on several occasions.
I agree with you, I agree with you.
To me, she's even more tribal than the Prime Minister. and the reality is, we take this lady and we put her in the position. What were we expecting?
I don't know.
That it is going to be different? It's not going to be different. This lady will
sorry
protect
for Maga dog, turn round, bite you.
Listen, this lady will protect the interest of the color green. I was watching her on a clip since week, and I said, the way how this lady tribal, she has a speaker, she come to parliament, even green. And listen, green is a color, but let me tell you something about politics. Symbolism is also critical and important in politics. And the messages that we send, the hidden messages, are also very important. So therefore, what is happening now with her and those sending of reports to committees before they are tabled in Parliament, I did not expect anything different. Because the lady firstly said that she don't believe that a group outside of parliament should be making decisions for parliamentarians, which means that she's saying, once you vote for we and we there in here, we are a law unto ourselves. We dictate what we do, how we do it, and when we do it. The people who elect we, them already give away their right by electing us. That is the message that lady is putting forward, And we sat down, and people can come back and say, here's the question.
Hold on, Wilson. Hold on there. Hold on, Wilson. Hold on, Wilson. I have to drop that Peter Tasha.
Sorry for my dog. Him turn round by two.
Wilson,
Yeah.
I want to agree with you. The opposition should have not participated in sanctioning Juliet Holness
And the
as the
argument,
Speaker of the House.
and the argument
We should have
tradition.
sat by, and because there was no tradition in that, where the wife of the Prime Minister was going to be the Speaker of the House. There was no convention in that.
So that argument that they put forward in defense is a non-argument, because we know for a fact that this is not how we operate in a decent democracy.
It was too simple. That move was a simple move.
Yes,
no.
And listen, it doesn't mean that not supporting it would have changed.
Because right, she would have still don't participate.
The difference is it would have been on record that from day one, the opposition did not support such a move.
Yes.
But the fact that the leader of the opposition seconded.
No, the leader did not second it. The leader of House Business.
House Business, sorry. Yes, the leader of the House Business, opposition leader of House Business, sanctioned the move.
Yeah.
The move.
Yeah.
It signifies that the opposition was in unison with the move.
I don't think they were in unison, but what I would want, or I would put it, and I'm not saying you put it wrong, but I would put it, the opposition never looked deep at this. Because it is the wife of the Prime Minister. That's
SHACKA.
You could call that nepotism. You could call it cronyism.
Hold on. You see, let me tell you this, and I want to be on record of saying this. If we have a leader of opposition business in the House, and get past him, his position is up for questioning. SHACKA, these things, this is not a simple matter. This goes core to how our democracy operates.
You're coming in hot this morning, Wilson. You're coming in hot.
It goes to the core of how our democracy operates.
Yes.
And when I sit back and I analyze what is happening, you see, this set of persons who are now leading this country, they are setting the stage for something bigger. And bit by bit, they are making the opposition useless.
You hear me talk about 80 this morning?
Well, I am telling. I'll go further. They ensure that they capture the imagination of the persons who are interested to vote, and they have a message that those persons can identify with. And that is on one hand, and on the other hand, they are taking away the rights of the ordinary people.
No, hold on,
Remember,
Wilson. You see that way you just said? This, the thing there, they are taking away the rights of the ordinary person. You hear when Nestor Morgan say that this issue with the tabling of bills, him said the people them not pay that no mind,
But look here, I go further. The Ministry of Justice, the Ministry of Constitutional Affairs and One Forum alluded to the fact that the ordinary man don't understand much of what is being discussed here. So it's not relevant to them. And we need to understand that, this whole system is calculated, and I'm going to tell you why. It is calculated. They understand the pulse of the minority who is excited about politics, and they are acting on the pulse. So once you get those persons excited and you satisfy them for a day or two leading up to an election, all is well. Because the important thing, people need to realize this, is that staying away from the poll benefits those that are in power.
Yes.
People also need to realize that fighting among yourself and you're not a part of the government will benefit the party in power.
Say that again?
Fighting amongst yourself, if you're not a part of the ruling group or the government, about who should lead and who you don't like, will benefit the party in power.
Thank you.
Now,
Thank
we
you.
as Jamaicans who are looking on and understanding that something is wrong about what is being done, we have to find a different approach to get people to understand what is happening. Because I hear you and the mayor talking about what happened in St. Thomas. Some of the issues that happened in St. Thomas, those issues were things that people studied, explored, and had a solution to, in the past, Yes. And somebody has decided, oh, that is not the route we are going. We are going that way. And things just change. And now we have to go find more money. So instead of we now being able to fix more interior roads, we still have to be spending more money on the main road. And all that money just end up in somebody else's pocket. It will end up in somebody else who will be a good donor coming up in the next election. And the cycle continues. And we are at that spot and we're doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. We have to move the discussion to the point where people recognize that it's not about just what is in your pocket. We have to go beyond that. I remember Mutty Perkins saying in the past that if every man was able to buy a Benz, the neighbor would not have the need to come tea for you and want mash up for you. We need a more equitable society. We need to start mimic the plantocracy. And that is what this present government is about. Mimicking the plantocracy. We are the planters, the overseers, and the house slaves, and the field slaves. And that is how they compensate people. And at the end of the day, the worst part of it is that we are now being colonized by our own color.
No, that is dangerous.
Yes, that is what, So we move from SHACKA slavery to mental slavery. Where they control your thinking, they control basically how you move and how you see things. And if you are different and see things differently, you are marginalized, set up on, and they make sure they put roadblocks everywhere they can. And listen, remember, they might be far away from you, but they'll always find somebody near you to ensure that something is done to you and you're stopped so that you cannot enlighten the other persons who need enlightenment. Point number 2.
Yeah.
I remember when I was going to university, I wanted to know why the persons in a certain downtown community remains so loyal.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a course in political history, and I found out the origin of a place known as Bakawal.
Oh.
And I was told that the persons from Bakawal, they were chased out and sent to Sufferer's Heights, that is out by...
In St. Thomas.
No, man, Sufferer's Heights is out on the ferry going to Spanish Town.
Okay. Some of them were sent
That,
to
yes,
St. Thomas too. Bakawal,
yes,
a whole Rasta
Bakawan.
did
So
live
some of
down
those
there.
persons were sent, they were chased away, and they created a model community. Remember what the name was? A model community. And that community was, the structures were set in so that community remain loyal for life.
Mhm.
So even if Colonel Meade ordered that they should be bombed, and the Prime Minister at the time was from their party, those people still remain what? Loyal. Because something is embedded
Yes.
in the creation of that community. That guess what? We are this color forever. And that must never, ever change.
What's the name of that community now?
That community is known as Tivoli God. Now I heard the minister from Old Harbour, that gentleman from Old Harbour.
Who the chink, the
That
fleas, and the
famous
flies?
gentleman, yes man, that gentleman who chased you away.
The chink, the fleas, and the flies. The
Yes.
host. The host of the chink, the fleas, and the flies.
Right. I heard him on a clip the other day saying that when they create the new boundary for Portmore,
For the parish of Portmore.
for the parish of Portmore, the PMP can never, ever
Win it again.
win back Portmore. So I stopped and I said to myself, but if this is the type of politics we're practicing in the 21st century, it is no different from the Bakawal type of politics where that model community was created. Because if you can think, say, by just moving boundaries, these people are obligated to support you forever, regardless of how you deal with them, and how, because I can tell you this, when you drive through West Kingston, of which Tivoli is a part, they have every issue or every problem that exists in every other constituency.
And maybe even more.
And those people, you will never hear them cry about issues because they cannot cry. Because guess why? They have to remain in order to stay, remain loyal in order to stay. And if you are going to tell me that no, this is the plan that
For
I hear
Portmore.
weekly backing up to, that weekly, and that minister has support more, we are in dire trouble as a country.
But
Because you're going to tell me now that the young people who are get educated with I use taxpayer money, they will now say, oh, I am living in the parish of Portmore, and the parish of Portmore is a green parish, so we have no option but to vote green.
They have a next guest coming, in my opinion, though.
Look here.
Portmore have more middle class, or quote unquote middle class, because the middle class in Jamaica is been wiped out. But a lot of them live in Portmore. So I want to see if people are going to hand over themselves like that.
But would you want me to believe that these two gentlemen, remember Weekly was a farmer,
Yes. And a former minister of energy, top man in the party.
Right. And you're going to tell me that those two young men well, not young men, two men, would have come and make public pronouncements of that nature without having either a script, like that is
it's something that they have discussed.
How they're going to achieve this?
It is something that they have discussed.
The systems are already in place. Remember, he said, he went on further to say, we won't get a local government election until
Portmore is named a parish.
That's what he said.
I heard him, but
yeah.
This would have been something that the hierarchy of the Labour Party would have discussed. They said clearly that they get the boundaries that they wanted, and therefore they would have looked at numbers, cut off where, and the host of the Ching Flea and Fly told you which part him cut off and where them are go. That they're going to Denny's daily.
They can go on.
And they're going to Denny's daily.
Yes.
So
So my point is, isn't it the purview of the election commission to actually determine boundaries of constituencies when
Yes, it
there is
is.
so, it
But
is.
on the Electoral Commission, the JLP have 2 members and the PNP have 2 members.
Mhm.
So they have their people in there who is lobbying for what they want, and the PNP
Mhm.
have their people in there who ought to be lobbying to ensure that certain things don't happen certain way.
So
But the GLP, is known for cutting new divisions and boundaries, because like the Fairhill division in East Portland, that was cut off by the GLP, and ensure that them always win it. So them know how to do it. They have done it right here in East Portland.
you know, the reality is when you watch and you listen and you check history, it's easy to become hopeless. And you reach a point where you start to wonder if people actually vote on issues, and why is it, or they just vote because they don't like a party or they like a party.
It,
And the reality is our education system has failed the political process. But
let,
then, as an educator, I believe the system is constructed to actually help to facilitate that.
let me tell you one
And
of the
I think,
problem, Wilson.
uh,
Let me tell you one of the problem. The problem is the silent majority that don't participate in the running of the country. You're talking about 60% of Jamaicans. And if
you
you
know the
if you
part,
do hold on, if you do a research, you'll find out that more people who are supposed to be educated don't vote. More people
yes,
who should be able to understand what is happening in the country don't vote.
but I believe that the practices of the parties also contribute to that group, the size of that group.
And I'm not
In
buying that. I'm not.
and hold on, and hold on. You see, you have to understand, that there's many ways to skin a cat. And a part of actually winning election is to get some people not to vote who is not willing to support you.
Mhm.
And that is a part of what this government has mastered. And history has said that during the 18 years that the PNP was in power, they actually used that strategy, because what they did was to dehumanize Mr. Siaga. So persons saw him as a devil, but they didn't participate because they're not voting for him. And so the other side benefit. So it's the same method they're using now on a Mark Golden, Because if you realize that the attack is always at Mark, at Mark, at Mark, and going back 18 years, when you're going back 18 years, when over 15 years, over the last 15 years, this government has been ruling majority of the time.
Yeah,
But
man.
you are going over back to 18 years previously to the last 15 years, when I can't see how relevant that 18 years is to know, to the point that it has to be mentioned in every opportunity that they get.
No, but you see,
This is a strategy. It has to be. And the strategy is get people to think that it makes no sense voting for them because they did nothing for us for 18 years. And we were the one who waved a magic wand and everything is, we're building more roads, we're building more this, we're giving away more that, we're giving away more that.
but you
So,
know something, Wilson.
uh-huh.
I want to sit down and watch this administration lie blatantly, openly, and nobody challenge them. Because when we look at this present administration saying that they build more roads than any other administration in Jamaica, that's a blatant lie. How you come out and say that?
But remember, remember, they will come out and say anything because guess what? We don't have a media that will fact check and put the truth out there. So guess what? They are also taking advantage of that.
Oh God.
If you say something about them that is not so, they go and fact check it and give it to the state media, and the media publish it. But the same is not done as it relates to other things.
Wilson, I could talk again.
Yeah, man, cool.
Thanks much. Conrad O'Brien.
Hi, SHACKA fame. How you do?
We're good enough. What going on with you?
I'm here. Always a blessing to join you, my friend. And we
What's the
continue.
weather on your side?
Well, I must tell you, I'm actually driving in the town of Old Harbour right now as we speak, and it's glorious, beautiful, marvelous sunshine. You know, the skies are blue and people are really basking in it, going about their business. So all in all, it's excellent weather condition here in Old Harbour, St. Catherine.
That's what we're having in Port Antonio this morning too. Bright sunshine, the sky is blue, the sea is blue.
Must be an awesome picture there in Portland, SHACKA.
Yes.
One of the most picturesque places right here in Jamaica.
A couple of things happening.
Before you go there, SHACKA, before you get to that thing, you know, I often said to people whenever I talk to them, whenever I appear on a program overseas or so on, I said to them that, listen, if you're talking about beauty and a picturesque place to be, there's no other place that you want to be than Jamaica, land we love. We are blessed. We are very, very privileged. God has basically carved out some real fantastic beauty for us right here in Jamaica.
So, thank you very much. I take the compliments for the parish.
For Jamaica, this is for Jamaica though. That was for yes.
A lot of things have been happening, and we're looking at them. Wilson, we just spoke a while ago about the fact that the silent majority in Jamaica that doesn't participate in choosing a government, and those are some of the people why a party could come and tell all kind of lies, talk things in the open when I go so and get away with it. How do we now adjust though to reach out to that silent majority and get them to participate?
All right. The media has a role to play in that. Both mainstream and media, and indeed social media, has a role to play in that. Political parties also have a role, or has a role to play in that as well. And it is even more incumbent an opposition party to carry that fight. In this case, the People's National Party is the main opposition, maybe not the only, but the main opposition party here in Jamaica. The People's National Party, in my humble view, SHACKA, will have to find a way as to how they get the public sentiments, and they cannot be coy. They cannot be afraid to have public protests. And I'm saying it without any ambiguity, any fear of successful contradiction, in order to mobilize and to get the people to understand what is happening. The opposition of the day has to engage in public protests, decent public protests.
We lost you, Conrad. You drop off. Conrad is talking about
the Prime Minister himself, for 2 consecutive years, his filing, based on what the Integrity Commission is saying, cannot be certified. Then to add insult to injury, we saw 6 persons cited in it. And the public at large probably
Conrad,
don't even fully aware.
Conrad, you might have to find somewhere and
Yes.
pull over. You might have to find somewhere and pull over where the signal is stable because you're going in and coming out. So if you could have pulled over
All
for a
right.
few minutes where we can stabilize
Yes.
and
All right. Are
continue.
you hearing me clearly here?
Yes, you're good right there.
You're hearing me clearly.
Yes,
All right.
man.
Let me just pause for a bit here and speak with you.
Yeah, man.
I'm saying, my friend, that where did you lose me?
We lost you, so you can go back to the Prime Minister and his filing.
All right, great. So I'm saying that here we are in what is could still be described as a fledgling democracy, 61-year-old, right? So we are not a baby, but we are still in a world stage. We are still quite young as a country.
Mm-hmm.
So, but here we are, the Prime Minister for 2 consecutive years is filing is unable to be certified by the Integrity Commission. But whatever the reason is, we don't know. But what we know for sure is that it doesn't look good. We also seeing in our parliament, the people's house, 6 persons are inside there who are cited for illicit enrichment. We don't know who those 6 are. But what we know for sure is that all the opposition members have signed to say they were not contacted by the Integrity Commission with anything to do with this. We have not gotten the same response from the Jamaica Labour Party, the governing side. So, by reason of deduction, it is safe to say that those 6 persons are among the government benches. And we talk about it day in, day out. But to date, the public that this could impact in a very, very, very serious way, not on board. They are not sufficiently aware or brought into the mix as it relates to this. So I am saying that it behooves the opposition, the PNP, to get the people on board with them out there so they understand what this means. These things don't only have impact for a few people, but it has impact for the country as a whole in terms of our perception of corruption on the index, the corruption body, how they rate us and so on. Those things could have major implication in Jamaica moving forward as a country. And I'm saying that, in my humble view, the opposition must be brave, be courageous.
Why would the opposition be afraid to lead a protest as it relates to the Prime Minister's filing, as it relates to the illicit 6, as it relates to the government bulldozing poor people house, as it relates to the overspending on a Cornwall Regional Hospital, stuff like those? Why would the opposition be afraid to lead a protest?
SHACKA, I am afraid I can't tell you exactly why they would, but what I'll say from where I sit, moving around the country, the people are calling. They want that level of leadership through boldness and so on and so forth. I don't know why the opposition is made, because indeed they seem timid to really push envelope to another level. I know that I'm putting myself out there at risk, but somebody has to basically bell the cat, so to speak. And I am playing my.
People are saying that one of the reasons why a lot of people would not go out there and protest is because of fear of victimization from the government if you are seen in such a protest.
The fact is that the government cannot victimize all of us. It's a cop-out, Shaka. It's a cop-out argument. One of the things that happen, and you see, Shaka, let me tell you something. People are busy trying to make ends meet, how they're going to have dinner tonight on their table. So these things are not going to happen just by itself. It needs organization. It needs mobilization to basically get the people on board out there to do it. And we're not talking about a situation where you're going to be chopping down the trees and blocking the road and those sort of things. Certainly not. Certainly not. But bodies, streams of people can lie, can stand rather along the corridors in Port Antonio, in Mandela Park, in all over the place, in Mandeville, all over, and send the strongest of message to the government that, listen, we are not happy with what is happening, but they need leadership in this regard. And I believe that the opposition, and I'm calling them by name, the opposition PNP, and I hear a whole heap of people say, here goes Conrad again, really and truly putting pressure on the opposition. I am doing so. I am doing so. The fact of the matter is that, Shaka, I want you to paint a picture in your mind. Just imagine these things that are happening now in Jamaica. Had the Jamaica Labour Party, led by Andrew Michael Brogard Radham Holness, in opposition, and these things are happening within the country. You just tell me what would happen.
They would burn the place down.
But we don't want, I am not advocating for that. I don't want us to go there.
Conrad, but remember, for $1 on gas, remember, for $1 on the price of gas, they almost burnt it down.
Mm-hmm. So
we're talking about history.
So why Shaka? Your party, you're a part of the PNP, a part of the opposition. Why are you guys so timid, so tame in basically go out there and having decent protests to bring these things to the fore, so that the people of Jamaica can understand? Do you believe, or you guys are of the opinion? Hold on.
I am ready, yes, and I have said it, that I believe that we should march on this government. Long time. I am ready to be at the front of this march. I believe in marches. When the late Dr. Bloomfield marched from Fairhill to Port Antonio to get the road around here started, it was my suggestion, and I was at the front of the march. So I am saying to the People's National Party, to my party, that once you are ready, I am ready.
So, Shaka, is it that, the majority or the leadership of the PNP believe that, listen, this thing is going to ripe and fall in their lap like some mango? It won't happen. They need to basically do the work. Yes. Do the work and bring the people on board. You know that a lot of people, Shaka, a lot of people here in Jamaica are not aware of what you and I are talking about now. A lot of people don't understand the magnitude of what is happening. And hold on, Shaka. One second. And your party is structured and groups in every nook and cranny of this country. And it is for reasons like these, so they can bring these things to the attention of the people.
Definitely. Conrad, I am saying to you that where we are in this country now, we need a revolution. Peaceful revolution. We need to march on this government for them to understand that the Prime Minister's filing, if it cannot be certified after 2 years now, we need to step aside. If we can't know who are the 6 people in the parliament. And Wilson and I was having a conversation earlier, and he was talking about the fact that the leader of opposition business in the House seconded the nomination of Honorable Juliet Holness to be Speaker of the House, and we should not have done that. And I agree with him.
No. I disagree. It is the convention. It is the convention that the opposition really support who, and that has nothing to do with what is happening.
And
As a
let me tell
matter
you
of
why.
fact, hold on,
Conrad, let me tell you
Shaka.
why
Hold on, let me just finish the
convention
thought.
never stay. The convention couldn't work because there was no convention of a prime minister's wife becoming speaker of the house. There is no tradition of a prime minister's wife becoming speaker of the house. So based on that, the opposition should have stepped aside, should have sit back and watch them, make them do them things, shouldn't be a part of it.
No, well. That's your view. I disagree. And I believe that the opposition, the leader of government business, did the right thing at the time when he seconded the nomination for Mrs. Holness to be Speaker of the House. As a matter of fact, I tell you something that right now, even hindsight, it's a good thing, because I believe that right now there are more exposure coming through with Mrs. Holness being there as the Speaker of the House. Not exposure in a good way, exposure from the point of view that she is basically doubling down and proving to be even a worse speaker than her predecessor. So it is being exposed. It's been exposed because when you have a situation where...
Never thought that she should be speaker, Conrad.
And that's fine. And that's fine. We can agree to disagree.
I don't agree with it.
All right, fine. You know, I really don't. I don't have an issue with the opposition. Do I believe that Mrs. Wallace is doing a good job? No. She's doing a very, very poor job, and she's proven to be even more partisan and more damaging to the democracy than the previous speaker. However, in terms of what the opposition did, I have no issue with it. Make she stay there and expose herself and embarrass herself and create more difficulty for the government, because there's nobody in their right mind in Jamaica that they can bamboozle and let people believe that what we saw going on in the Parliament of Jamaica in terms of protecting, not putting those report forward, it is anything good. It's not coming from a good place. It's because these reports are damaging.
Why do you think they're doing it, Conrad?
Because why they're doing it? Because it potentially these reports will carry the government down, and it may very well mean that Mr. Bruce Golding may have company at the top of the pile, where he is not the only prime minister that had to leave office in disgrace. Another, if
you're breaking up again.
Reports are made public. I am at the same place. I don't know what's happening.
All right, we're hearing you now.
Hello?
Yeah, man.
I'm saying.
We're hearing you now.
I'm saying. Good. I am saying that just maybe, if those reports are tabled or put out there to the public, right, in the Parliament, Mr. Golden may not sit lonely with the dubious distinction of a prime minister that had to leave office in disgrace. But we could probably see another prime minister being forced to leave office in embarrassment. So the government members are doing some things. When I saw a man like Delroy Chuck stand on his feet in the Parliament and talk the utter nonsense, I said Jamaica is in serious trouble, because these guys are not stupid. Delroy is one of the persons that I personally admired so much, especially when he was at UWI as a lecturer in law.
But Conrad,
yes,
Delroy Chuck is not an ordinary man, you know. The Prime Minister said that we're going to have to import labor. And that, hold on for me, caller. The Prime Minister said we have to import labor and all of that.
Yes.
And Delroy Chuck says we need to pay with people and double.
And I commend him on that.
No,
Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You know,
It's a joke.
Delroy. Delroy,
Yeah.
he is the man who he is from one extreme to the other. And he's a sensible
Yes,
man because what he outlined there, you know, Shaka, it is
Yes.
something he really and truly threw the gauntlet down at the
Yes.
government, you know. Because when he said that, listen, here it is. You're talking about importing a labor. You're going to have to find place to put these people. You'll have to pay them at least 3 times. Why not pay our people? And I
Double.
believe that Ed Bartlett, the players in the tourism industry and the government must be very, very embarrassed when Delroy said it. But he said it nonetheless. And I want to commend him for that.
I tell people.
But on the other hand,
go ahead.
But on the other hand, we saw him a week later. Don't know if he's trying now to basically make a comeback and curry favor with the government, but he's there in the parliament talking nonsense a week later.
Whether the speaker right or wrong, the speaker decision is final.
My God.
We are in some serious times in Jamaica.
We're in some
a government who is creating so much boo-boo. So much boo-boo this government is creating.
Yeah. Yes. And Shaka, I want before I leave you, I want to just weigh in quickly on something that took place yesterday, if I may.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, man,
yes.
Go ahead.
I was privileged to be in a group with a number of persons, esteemed persons such as former Minister of National Security, former Foreign Affairs Minister, and senior attorney at law, KD Knight. And there was a discussion taking place in the group where I put forward a position that I believe that and I want to just say here that I am not talking as member supporter of the PNP. I am giving a professional comment on this program, right? Not has nothing to do with the party that I support. Nothing.
DP asking about what you're going into right now. He's asking.
DP is asking.
Is it true that 2 comrades are planning to run independent against the GenSec in the general election?
All right, let me go in. Let me go there. Let me talk about it, and he will get the answer in what I'm saying. So I put forward the view. I have never ever against Dayton Campbell in getting a seat, and it's not even my purview so to do because I have no control over that. As a matter of fact, I support him getting a seat. However, I am saying that from a commentary point of view, as a public commentator, I am saying that when I look at it, where the PNP is at now, I believe that the PNP need a general secretary that is doing just the sole job of a general secretary. I am putting forward that view. Whether or not the party want to accept it, it is their business to take it, yes or no. So, from all of that, a lot the discussion ensued, because I put forward there that I heard from the horse's mouth that Luther Buchanan was planning or said that he will run as independent in Eastern Westmoreland. And hear this now, so long as Dayton Campbell is the person that is on the ticket for the PNP. Very, very important point to note. He's not saying that at all costs he will run, He is saying that once it is Dayton Campbell, and I spoke to him since that, and he said that, listen, once it is Dayton, he will run independent. So if it is somebody else, if it's somebody... Well, what happened, it may very well be, and he probably feels slighted as to how things happen. He applied for the seat after the 2 persons there did not make the cut as it relates to the number in the poll.
So he applied outside the window of application.
Not nonetheless. A lot of people applied afterwards and so on. They applied when
No, we just want to make the point that he applied
yes.
outside that window.
But also remember now that the seat, the position became vacant because the two persons who had applied for did not make the cut. So he now put an application. He felt slighted as a 3-term member of parliament, a former member of the executive of the officer of the party, because remember he was a deputy general secretary and also a former junior minister in the PNP administration. So he felt slighted that he was treated with scant regard by the general secretary and by extension the secretariat of the party. And also the view that he is positing and others is that Dayton now, as the general secretary, uses position as general secretary to basically invoke himself in the constituency without setting any criterion for himself. And as a result of that, Luther, said that he will be running. And also get the information from him as well that there's another comrade, a female, who said that she's offering herself as independent as well. So to answer DP question, as it is now, the answer to that is yes. However, a day in politics is long. And I believe that there's room to deal with this. Members of the leadership of the party, had I been a part of the leadership, my Luther's phone would be ringing. I will be setting up an appointment and say, Luther, come on. Let's talk through this thing, because there must be a solution somewhere.
I would want,
in all
I
of
would want to suspect that is being done as we speak.
I would hope so. I would hope so, because let's face it, as KD Knight said in that voice note, that he got the permission to put out in the group. Let us also underscore this. This is not a message that was meant for constant consumption out there in media space and so on. And people must be decent enough to know that they're a part of a group. They should not be leaking these messages to media houses.
Would you say, based on that, Conrad, that some of these groups need to be dismantled? Because if people can't participate in those groups with the respect that what I say in the group would not be taken out without my permission, because what KD Knight put in that group was just for the members of the group and should not have been taken out of the group.
Absolutely. And you know what happened, SHACKA? The problem with these things is that all of us in the space, including myself, become a suspect. And I know that people in that group will point finger at me because of my proximity or my space within the media landscape. I know. And that in itself basically put shadow over me. I will say that since then, I was summarily dismissed by one Dan Brownie out of the group.
Wow.
You understand? Wow. And I had nothing at all to do with this leak.
It is unfortunate though, because
it's very, very unfortunate, and it is the second time. It must be noted, SHACKA. Sorry, SHACKA. It must be noted that it is the second time within a matter of weeks that this happened. I had to appear and Nationwide and their evening program to discuss a similar matter that took place before.
And I also believe it is the second time that one of KD's message.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about. That's a discussion I'm talking about, that I was I guess a Nationwide to basically straighten this thing out, because people are putting these things and probably creating an impression as if KD has an issue with Dayton or anybody. Far from it. KD's engagement in this group are sobering, and always just trying to find a way to see how he can basically get things to work in a smooth way. And that's what he tried yesterday. He went to Luther, he asked Luther some question, and Luther said, okay, fine, you can share it in the group.
And I know KD earlier had promised that he wasn't going to participate in these groups. Again, I expect him now to even take out himself out of these groups. It is not good practice that you take people's message, send it, especially to media houses. It's not like you post it in another PNP group, but you take it and you send it to media house for public consumption, and it was not made for that.
Yes, not for that at all. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. And you know, Shaka, I'll say this. And I myself, I will be careful in these groups, in any groups I'm in, and also understand that whatever I said in the group, I must be prepared to go in the middle of halfway tree and take a microphone and broadcast it, because whatever you said in this group, in these groups, it is not something that you can countenance, that it may not be out there. I, Conrad O'Brien, said things in group before, and lo and behold, video was sent to me that gone viral on Facebook and TikTok. I was amazed. So that's the situation of these groups. So, you know, what you're going to get less participation from certain people within these groups. They're just going to be there, sit as satellite. And you're going to be complaining that these people are not participating in the group. But what should they do? Right? Look at what happened to Mr. Knight. Two times.
Some of these groups need to be dismantled. They are not serving the purpose that they were set up to serve. And therefore, I think they are doing more harm than good.
I agree with you. I agree with you, because sorry, Shaka, because whatever, you and I have a public space, right? The things that you say in a group, they're not the things that you will come here and your platform on a Saturday morning and said. No.
Definitely not.
That's not things that I would be saying on mainstream radio and New Start 93 FM on Mondays and Tuesdays. No. So people has to be careful. And as I said before, these things cast a cloud over all of us. And I myself, I am embarrassed because fingers have been pointed at me. And I am so very, very disappointed with the person who took that message out of the space and share it on mainstream radio. Really should not happen.
Shouldn't happen. Conrad, thanks for being with us this morning. News Talk 93 FM, Monday and Tuesday. Who you going to have on Monday morning?
I should be having Mr. Dr. Andre Horton. We're talking to him about what his opinion on the GCT removal from horses at Cayman's Park, and just the general economic scenario right here in Jamaica. So join me.
That's a sticky one.
Yes. So join me on Monday at 9 o'clock sharp, where we'll bring another program to you. And as I said before, my guest in the spotlight at 10:10 and Monday will be senior lecturer at the University of the West Indies and PNP spokesman and candidate, Dr. Andre Horton. Join me then. Thanks, Shaka.
Thank you very much, Conrad O'Brien. Yeah, man. Mystical Online.
How are you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
It's an interesting couple of days, man. Very interesting couple of days,
Yes.
I've been out in the wild, so to speak, Yeah.
The water draw now?
No, sir. So I am detained here.
So you still can't retrieve the vehicle yet?
Wheeler Seal. No. Water is slowly receding. Eh?
Where did you guys get blocked in? Tell us exactly.
All right. So it started from when you come down, Coil, right?
Right. So you come off Coil and hit the level.
Where it started there.
Yes.
So we held off traffic until a couple of minutes, well, probably an hour or so, and then we proceeded. We saw a little clearance. It subsided. only to realize another body before we came out of that gorge, so to speak.
Yeah.
But we forged it through. I mean, because a couple of us, probably about 10 vehicles, and we forged it through.
Yeah.
And so we ended up at the square.
Which one are the
We
square?
could not go anywhere else. We could not
Which
go
where you call it square?
towards
Golden Grove Square?
Golden Grove. We could not go towards Bath because everywhere.
So is it the square where the gas station is, or where that little building?
No, man.
Where the building is in the key and piece?
Yeah, we're not reached down there. So you know where Jones property offices.
Right. So you can either go Bath or you can make the right.
You go Roland Field, or you go Bath, or you go
Golden Grove proper. You couldn't move from there.
Well, that is where we were parked. We're parked just a little from the square with our heads turned to Bath.
Right.
And we stayed there all because we reached about 6:30 Thursday evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were there until about minutes to 8 the following morning.
Friday morning.
Yeah, man.
What? So tell me something. The water need to rise this out. The water not come up this out.
No, well, where we were kind of safe, yeah?
Yeah.
We were kind of safe. We're on a little rising, we were park along.
And then you watch water before you, water behind you.
The water before me. Boy, this come like the Red Sea business. You know,
the water crossway from
water
you.
Water behind, water around, water coming from down Roland Field, water, brother. Frightening experience, yeah?
Yeah.
And then it rains in the night, man. Remember me tell you, brother.
So you slept in the vehicle?
Well, yeah, we slept in the vehicle, man. All 10 vehicles, I mean, yeah. Slept in the vehicle, and we said, police tell us, no moving because crocodile roam in a them kind of situation then.
So where were the police? There was a police vehicle there as well?
No, sir. We are lone man. We are police. We are soldiers.
So
we are
now make phone calls and all these things.
We made calls, yeah, ad nauseum. We made calls to and a lot of people have enough connection, out in our society. So we call everybody who have connection.
Everybody use up them connection.
Fire call, police call, media call.
And nothing can come.
Nothing. Well, probably. I understand from afar where we were. We could have looked ahead down Golden Grove and we could see a light, which somebody said it was the fire. Fire truck, but it couldn't manage the water. Couldn't come. So we were left to the help of only JDF. I know one night that would be probably, unless they have them floodlights with them beam down and can ice us out, if the worst come to the worst. We have to just sing a song and say, nearer my God to thee, you know what I mean?
And you slept there Thursday night? We
slept there Thursday night, brother. And in the morning, anyway, about 7:38, we heard the chopper coming and hoisted us out.
Yeah.
And took us to a nearby shelter in Wheeler's Field.
How many trips they made?
They made about 6 trips.
So did they land our basket?
No, man, they landed. Hey, you have to give it to the military. You have to give it to them pilot. They remember me tell you.
Then put it down.
Man, them come under the light wire,
Yeah.
And glided out in the street, man.
Oh, yeah, sir.
Yeah, man.
Show some skill.
You thought that the man have land on the water.
Yeah.
The man them just come down.
Yeah.
And glide through under the GPS thing.
Yeah.
And pick us up and rise us. And congrats to the Jamaica Defense
Thanks
Force.
to the Jamaica Defense Force.
Yeah, man. They said that, yeah. So we want for security agents that can respond adequately and accurately, But I've been thinking, Shaka, unless you wish to ask me something about the experience. But let me tell you about the experience in the shelter. Because we came to the shelter, it took us about probably 10 minutes to access the shelter. Yeah. And to get the key and to get in. Once we got in, man, it was home again. It was home again because the people in Wheeler's Field, man, we have to give them kudos, We have to celebrate these people, especially the women. Well, the women and the men, yeah?
Yeah.
But the women are always more caring and,
So they look after you guys.
And embracing. Hey, them look after, we're like, well, them people that provide for us,
Yes.
As it was Jamaica, the government of Jamaica providing resources. Then people just got them yard and bring with food, and bring with clothes, then bring with blanket, then bring with just about everything we needed. Yeah,
Yes.
what they didn't bring would have been what probably they don't have. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah, man. I celebrate the comrade, man. When I experienced it, I said, boy, hope still about, I left it to yourself. We do better than anybody else responsible for it. Just left it to yourself and I could just help yourself and we'll do it very well. Because we understand, so even the cars, because we have a part of the cars about probably, I don't know, it's probably a mile. I don't know how far it is. No, a man said it is about 6 mile light poles away from the shelter where the cars are parked, and we can't access it by road because
I've just leave them
inundated
there.
by water. And then say, I mean, a man out there a prowl at night time to make sure say we things safe.
Everything good.
So that is Jamaica.
What is the expectation now that you're leaving there today?
I don't know what is now because the sun is blazing here right now.
Yes.
The sun is blazing. So I imagine my calculation is that since the sun is blazing, they are giving the thing time to run off. That's just my estimation because they wanted to come for us yesterday to take us to Princess Margaret so that we could get our pickup from there in one location. But rain I understand was very heavy.
Yeah.
In Kingston, so visibility and so on was kind of poor for them, so they never come back.
Yeah.
We haven't heard anything from I know today, sir. They haven't heard anything from morning.
Why?
But we are just hoping
we
that,
give God thanks
rather
that
than
you
them
guys
coming,
are safe.
the conditions become more favorable.
Yes.
So we can pull out, on the road.
Yes.
So that has been...
you would have heard me a number of times quarreling about the fact that the government changed the scope of work for the highway because that area, is one of the reasons why a new road was proposed.
Definitely.
And see it now.
Yeah, man. You see, when we are doing infrastructure, brother, especially infrastructure that goes to as a national implication, we must be serious and non-partisan and non-parochial about this. We must be for the greater good of Jamaica and the Jamaican people. And don't think where it's going to pass. Well, we pass with them here and the people and them giving a vote or whichever party giving a vote and our support. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Do it for the national good. Yeah? Because in the long run, we shall benefit a lot. Yeah, we'd save a lot. Yeah, we'd have to come pitch patch and try and make do, the impossible. Like in Bowden and like Audley and everything. That we just do a great job and bypass and do a great job.
And just get people out of these dangers because people could have lost their lives.
Because I tell you something, it's treacherous, man.
Jesus.
It's treacherous, man. Even the bravest of us under them conditions, man. I have to give some thought to fear,
Yeah.
Remember me telling you, brother.
And I know one or two times that place lack of people on either side.
Brother, remember say we out in a while, Remember say when I have houses and surround us in a plantation or cane over there, so banana over there, so yeah? Crocodile
infested area.
Eh?
Crocodile infested area.
Yeah, man, because the crooks were out, after the flooding, man. When we left there, we heard that crooks were swimming around in the place, prowling the place, man.
Because they would have washed out of their natural habitat.
Washed out of their natural habitat, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, boy, we just prevail by the mercy of Almighty.
Yes, man, we give God thanks that they are them still alive and well.
Yeah, man, so they are hold it out.
Well, my brother, the way you have to do. Survival
give
is a must. Bless you.
Blessed.
Yes, boy. So you heard it from the man himself. Got blocked in his car. Is still in the Golden Grove area, in the plantation. Unable to access. He's saying that about 10, 12 vehicles leave out there. And that's where they slept Thursday night because they couldn't go through the water. And when I talk, you have some people ask why we did need new road. That is why. That is one of the reasons. Bowden is one more of the reasons. The sea taking away the road in Mansion Hill and Long Bay is another reason. White horses in St. Thomas is another reason. You would have heard the mayor speaking about some of the other areas. But, some people want a freedom party. It is the right thing to do. I'm saying to us as Jamaicans, time come for we start think about our country, the people of our country, rather than just thinking about our party ourselves.
Coming in hot, hot, hot. Firing some shot, shot, shot. Coming in red hot, hot.
Sounds of Peter Tosh still coming in hot.
It's a musical shot, shot, shot.
And we talk about it's 11 o'clock, my people. Thanks for joining us for yet another program on Portland Spice TV. Program is called Talk to Me. We do it every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. until 11 a.m. We will give you a chance to speak your mind, where we simplify the truth, break it right down. This is how we take you out for yet another Saturday morning. May the good Lord continue to bless and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his light and give you his peace, now and forevermore.
And when you
Catch it, should be them a play.
Cause if it drop, it will pop. And if it pop, no one can mend it. Cause if them mend it, you can easily bend it. So we are going to get you. Should be tonight. Old vampires who don't like to see you prosper, only like to see you suffer. On the set of vampires, old vampires.
Antidon. Antidon.
Speaking about somebody.
Turn off the TV, Antidon.
Greetings.
Wagwan.
Well, I give thanks here again from my younger brother.
Yeah, man.
Mystical.
Still alive and well.
Yes, and I was following him up all along that journey. And let me tell you something, man. Water, or being surrounded by water, is a frightening experience.
Must be.
You see?
Must be.
And people, when you in your house and hear, well, sometimes when you see on TV, like, or reach people, you have a better understanding.
Yeah.
But like, I have had an experience in Portland, and I tell people that I wasn't threatened, but just the sound of the whole heap of water right around you and the place dark, and you're not accustomed to it, because I wasn't accustomed to it. I was up in the Rio Grande, up in Millbank.
Yeah.
One night when rain, and when them say Grande put on them suit.
Yes, put on
and
the khaki
bank to
suit.
bank. And then, says whole heap of streams up in that area that becomes
and everybody
river
full
when
up.
rain fall.
Yes.
Yes. So I was up there. And let me tell you, it was a frightening experience. Because where I was, it was me alone in the house, but not from the community. The nearest neighbor was a man at that time. He was 80 or near 90.
Lord have mercy.
And
so him can't
it
help
was
you.
frightening.
How much you are going to help him?
We give thanks.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
When we hear we brother and the other persons who got caught up in the scenario, that, them get rescued to a point.
Yes.
And we also have to don't forget, in all our way judgment, where you hear people, some people that, you see that caring spirit about Jamaican people.
Yes, man.
it is still there alive and kicking. And I don't want people to forget that.
Yes.
Shaka,
Yes.
I don't want people to forget that. You see, especially when you get in a situation where you're in the midst of poor people,
Yeah, man. You still love. You
they
feel love.
are very caring.
Yeah, man.
And I'm not barring any, old and young alike, because
Yes.
sometimes we go on as if the young people them is descendants of the devil. And I always say, if the young people are descendants of the devil, we are the devils,
All right.
because it's we grow them and it's
Yes.
we bring them.
Yes.
So I would like us, in all our negativity and the negative experiences we are having, take time out and remember some of the positive things that keep us strong, that allow us to survive in all circumstances
Yes.
and move along. Give thanks for my brother was able to tell his experience to your listeners.
Yeah, man. We give
And
thanks.
again, we're sorry that the vision was not seen by both parties. And so we are now perishing as a people.
All right. Yeah, where there is
Take
no
care.
vision, the people perish. Respect unto Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
The road was drawn, a brand new road from Harborview into Port Antonio. Designed so as to get rid of those kind of obstacles. And this government came in power. And hardly Manayard Shah said it doesn't make economic sense to build a new road from Harborview to Port Antonio. Ah, yeah. But God, oh God. Thank you for watching, everybody. See you next week.